Hi folks, Chris Mask from Eastlink Community TV's Off the Chip Wagon. Hopefully you and your family are doing well in these unique times, but if you're a little bored, looking to up your kitchen game, how about perfecting French fries? If you watch me bounce around from chip stand to chip truck, I try countless fries over the course of a season. French fries are something that's very near and dear to my heart, much like the time that I spend with my cardiologist. But there's a lot more to the science of a French fry than you might give it credit for. For example, potato selection. There's 1,400 varieties of potatoes out there, breaks down into 7 distinct categories. And those popular ones include the waxy potato. Now these easily found, silky smooth skin like a baby's bottom, but not good for French fries because the moisture content, generally they're going to hollow out and leave you with soggy fries. So waxy potatoes, much better for things like potato salad. Now what is a good potato for French fries? The russet potato, the russet, the Idaho potato. You say tomato, I say potato. This, ideal. Whether you bake it, whether you fry it, it gives you that nice pillowy interior. In fact, that's why these russet potatoes are the go-to if you're making something like gnocchi. Now, there is another potato on the market that's quite popular, the Yukon Gold. Why does it get its name? Well, here's a Yukon Gold, here's a white potato. You tell me. You can see it's got that very distinct gold color. These are excellent for mashed potatoes. This is actually a potato which was created in Guelph back in the 1960s. So the Yukon Gold potato, it's another proud Canadian heritage moment. So potato selection, incredibly important. You might be saying to yourself, well, Chris, you didn't mention sweet potatoes. Well, okay, now I did. Thing is, this is not actually a potato. No, it's not part of the nightshade family. Looks like a potato, has potato in its name, distant cousin at the very best. Maybe we'll do another video on making sweet potato fries because those are delicious as well. When you're doing your potato selection, try to find potatoes that actually are not perfect. And when I say not perfect, if you look at this one here, see the little blemishes on this guy? Well, those blemishes mean that this is a bit of a damaged potato. But the damage is good because that means it's got a different pH content on the interior, so this will make a better French fry than a perfect potato. Problem is that it's harder to find blemished potatoes in the grocery store because everybody wants perfect produce. Root around at your farmer's market, you might find these. It really does make a difference when it comes to French fry making. Another thing that will make a difference is your oil selection. And when you're looking for an oil, you need something with a high smoking point, so something over 350. We do fry a lot of things in extra virgin olive oil, EVO, not good for French fries. It's got a low smoking point, it's going to leave your fries burnt and bitter tasting, and nobody wants that. Plus, that's expensive to fill your fryer with. So try and find something like canola oil, peanut oil, vegetable oil, ideally rendered beef tallow, pork lard, or even better yet, duck fat. Wow, that's a whole new level of French fries when you fry things in duck fat. Yep, a little expensive, but it's worth it. Trust me on this. Regardless of whatever oil you choose, you got to make sure to keep it fresh. So when your oil goes in, it'll be nice and light like this, but eventually after about 6 hours, it's going to start to darken. So after about 6 hours of cooking, you should always be changing out your oil. A little bit hard to do if you're running a chip truck, so they kind of run under different things, but at home, that's just a good little rule of thumb to follow. When you cut your potatoes down before they hit the fryer, I'm a big fan of doing something called soaking them. So you blanch them and soaking them in water. You can soak them in a little bit of water with lemon juice or vinegar or a little bit of salt. It's just going to start pulling that starch out of the potato itself. 15 to 30 minutes roughly in a little bath of water. You'll see the water change color, and then at the bottom you can actually see that starch that starts to come out of your potatoes. The starch is what's going to burn on the surface of the potato when you throw it in without soaking them in water. The starch and the sugars. You see, you need to create something called the Maillard effect. And the Maillard effect is the same kind of concept of when you get that perfect sear on the outside of a steak, the conversion of the amino acids. So that's essentially what you're trying to do with a French fry. So once you soak them, dry before you fry. Incredibly important because water going into hot oil, that makes a mess. Just dry before you fry. Trust me on this. I'm a big fan, like I said, of blanch, and I don't mean the one from the Golden Girls. I mean that pre-cooking technique at about 350 for 5 to 6 minutes. You're not cooking them right through, you're just doing a par cook to them, because then you can take them out, you can dry them, and at this point here, if you lay them out in a cookie sheet, you can freeze them and then use them whenever you need them. Now, once you're ready to go, what type of fries have you made? If you've made something like the spiral fries, like these, I love these, you're actually going to try and get a higher temperature. And that's the same thing with like the waffle cut fries as well. You're going to want about 375 to fry these. But for the plank fries, which are more popular it seems, this, you're going to want to go at about 325. So it's a lower temperature. But you can see how the exterior, after about another 2 to 3 minutes, will start to take on that nice golden color. And you get a really great crisp as well to the exterior and the inside. As I eat with my mouth full, you can see, hopefully the camera picks up on this. It actually turns out to be really pillowy, really soft, and really fluffy. And that's a good French fry right there. At the end of the day, just a way to up your French fry game. Stay safe, everybody.